Once ships come in over a calm sea is a quote by Florence Scovel Shinn. I read that a few years ago and it instantly resonated with me so much that it became one of the 3 mantras that carry me. Right around that time, I heard another thought from Abraham Hicks. The closer you are to alignment with what you want, the calmer it feels. Alignment, of course, being knowing that what you want is yours now. Knowing that what you want is yours now, however, can be challenging. And it became easier for me once I read this from Neville Goddard. No one can stop you from dwelling psychologically at any point or in any state in time or space. Stand still in the psychological state defined as your objective until you feel the thrill of victory. Then, with confidence born of the knowledge of this law, watch the physical realization of your objective. The choice of words that I really love here are at any state or time, because making yourself believe that you are who you want to be now when you're physically currently the opposite of it can be difficult, as it was for me. But it's far easier to believe that in 1 year's time you will be where you want to be and then just live from that period of time. This type of assumption feels more logical to the mind because you've introduced a period of time that you would consider to be realistic. In my experience, it hasn't taken that period of time to fully manifest what I want. But even if it did, honey, you just gotta calm down and stop trying to build Rome in 1 day. My mother used to always tell me that. I always felt as though I was running out of time, which maybe I am and maybe I'm not. And if you are running out of time, then what does it matter anyway? If all you have is a day left, then what could have honestly been accomplished within that time frame except for joy, peace, giving love and receiving love when it's given? I'm not trying to make you feel as though you should give up or quit or accept mediocrity. What I'm trying to do here is help you eliminate that internal belief of limitation and of lack and of rush, trying to help you stop rely so heavily on the fulfillment, the physical fulfillment of the things that you desire now. I want you to learn how to be happy now, because it's that happiness that you feel now, it's the fulfillment that you allow yourself to feel now, is what will bring in what it is that you want in the future to sustain those feelings. It's that like attracts like, right? It's that feeling of limitation that is killing all of your manifestations. Another powerful thought found in the book of Psalms is, be still and know that I am God. That's my second mantra. And another one found in the book of 1 John. This is the confidence we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And if we know that he hears us, then we know that we have what we've asked of him. That's my third mantra. I've just said a lot of words, but everything I've just stated is, in my opinion, everything you need to know to master achieving the things that you want in your life, to master manifestation, and to manifest every time precisely. The key words are calm, still, confidence, no. I've put them all together to form a whole formula as to how I've been able to successfully manifest and achieve the things that I've wanted in my life so far. First, you decide on who you want to be. Second, you stand still and firmly in your psychological assumption that this is who you are. Based on your knowledge of this law, you find confidence to appropriate the version of you want to be. Number 4, you know this version of you is who you are now. So you're confident in that. So confident that you stand still in your assumption and you're not moving from that state. 5, you know this is who you are, so you're calm and your undesired physical circumstances don't matter to you or bother you. You're confident that you are this new desired version of you, that you carry yourself in that way and you behave in the ways they do. You appropriate the better version of you. The calmer part is what I want to explore now, because I think I may have found a secret. When I think back on all the things that I've wanted, that I got, that I still have, or that I've let go of, one common theme arises. For a short time prior to achieving those things, and for the way I have felt about them since having them, the feeling that was and is felt with regards to those subjects is calm. When you think about all the things that you wanted and received, your first car, your first relationship, your graduation, your job, how do they feel now? Are they not just a normal part of your life now? I'm sure you're truly grateful for them, but they feel normal to you, so you're calm about them. So if that's how you feel now about the things that you have manifested, then shouldn't you feel that way now about the things you want to manifest? If we're taught to dwell in the end state, to persist in the state of the wish being fulfilled, to be the energy you want to attract, and to feel the feelings of having it now, then that feeling would be exactly the way you feel now about all of the other blessings in your life. And I'm sure you're grateful for all of the good in your physical reality, but it's still no surprise to you to wake up each morning and still find them there. It's no surprise to anyone anymore that faking it till you make it is actually how many people get to where they want to be in life. This has gone beyond woo-woo spirituality at this point, and there is far more scientific research to support the theory. Cognitive behavioral therapy, otherwise known as CBT, is a type of intervention that is based on the idea that your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors are all connected, sort of like a loop with each one determining the next. It's a type of psychotherapy that is more so used in the mental health field to help treat all sorts of mental disorders, with anxiety and depression being the main successes that I've personally noticed. It's the part about thoughts, feelings, and behaviors being connected that really stand out to me. The common denominator between law of assumption and CBT is positive thinking and positive self-talk. I believe the spirituality gurus would refer to this as your self-concept. A few years ago, I watched a lesson by Tony Robbins in which he spoke very deeply about identities. How you identify yourself is how you feel about yourself, and how you feel about yourself determines how you behave. And how you behave determines how people, circumstances, life behaves towards you. And assuming that all the things you want in your life are options in romance, to be desired, to have more and better opportunities, to be preferred, then how your physical circumstances and the people within them behave towards you determines what you manifest and what you achieve. So if you identify yourself as a smoker, a drinker, and a person who cannot hold down a relationship, then you'll feel as though this is who you are, and you'll behave as though this is who you are. You'll subconsciously do what it takes to uphold this identity. Conversely, if you identify yourself as a health nut, or a wellness queen, or a goddess of sorts, you'll feel as though this is who you are, and you'll behave in this way. And the actions necessary to uphold this identity will come natural to you because this is just who you are. It doesn't take much effort to create art when you identify as an artist. It doesn't feel out of the ordinary to start businesses when you see yourself as an entrepreneurial type. The law of assumption is all about living in a state of being long enough for the physical circumstances around you to morph into that state of being. And once it does, you'd have to actively go against that physical evidence psychologically in order for you to ever see any pronounced change. Meaning you'd have to deny your physical senses and believe the thoughts in your head, even if your physical circumstances can't support them at the moment. I like using unpleasant experiences to teach me how to manifest positive experiences. So take me, for example. As of a few years ago, I couldn't hold down a job for longer than a month. I couldn't hold down a relationship or even maintain interest in that person for longer than a month. I couldn't keep more than $1,000 in my bank account. And I couldn't go 6 months without plotting how to remove myself from this world. This was my identity, and it grew to be my standards and my beliefs. I knew I was doing well if I met these requirements. If I ever exceeded these requirements by having more money in my bank account or by exceeding that 1 month time frame with a job or a person, I would feel very uncomfortable. And I naturally appropriate myself out of this. So I would start spending more on things that brought me happiness until I brought it down to $1,000. Somehow I would finally notice the red flags in that person and find the courage to leave. Somehow I would notice that my job no longer kindles joy and I would choose myself and leave. It was all so masterfully done and with great reasonability applied. It was just natural. When I redefined myself as someone who has X amount of money in her bank account and as someone who can hold down a relationship for far longer than a month, suddenly my old identity no longer felt comfortable because it wasn't accurate. As I persisted in my new identity or self-concept, I started naturally aiming for higher paying jobs with more accountability and landing them. I started finding the green flags in people and learning about relationships and love, little micro actions that did work and felt natural to take. And it wasn't any effort at all. In fact, when I took these actions and when I maintained my new standards, I could feel my level of comfort increasing because this is who I was physically, but this is who I was psychologically. And as the physical version of me moved closer and closer to the psychological one, I was closing the gap, creating harmony and balance, equilibrium. Of course, that will feel comfortable. And comfort and effort cannot reside in the same place. I see a lot of comments from people denouncing this ideology, saying things like, if manifesting works, then why don't you manifest the cure to cancer or $10 million? First of all, there is astounding evidence to support that multiple cures to multiple different cancers already exist. Secondly, there are many people who have intentionally and unintentionally manifested millions of dollars, much more than $10 million, in fact. So those sorts of comments are, in my mind, immature and ill-informed. You're dealing with your human mind here, which is used to judging your reality according to your physical senses. For the majority of us, it's not that simple to just step outside of your Tobermory Drive apartment in Jane and Finch and feel as though you're living in Forest Hill neighboring Drake. No disrespect to Jane and Finch, by the way. I was born there and I lived there until my parents decided to change their mindset and move their family out and onward to what they perceived to be better things. It takes steps. It takes smaller successes that incrementally increase your confidence, incrementally increase your belief that you could have better things, therefore making your appropriation feel more logical and natural and effortless to you. So if you ever encounter thoughts or comments from people like that, don't let them dissuade you from the Rome you're building here. Those people are at odds with themselves. They want more, but they think small. And by you thinking large, it challenges their beliefs. By you succeeding, despite all the pain that you've received, it raises the question within themselves, well, why can't I? It puts the responsibility for their lives back into their hands. Suddenly they're accountable again, and they're not yet ready to accept that. Their reaction to you is relative to how they feel about themselves. Don't take it personally. Don't take it at all. I can't really give you any hacks on how to change your self-concept or change your identity. I think this is one in which you're going to have to do all of the heavy lifting with, meaning you have to think about this one for yourself because it's different for us all. For me, things became far more clear as I started reading more and watching more videos just like this, until I finally comprehended it enough so that I could start practicing it. And then once I started practicing it, I started learning from those experiences as well, finding what worked, what didn't work, where I went right, where I went wrong, and how I could have corrected that. All physical change derives from a sustained internal change. But if you don't believe that, then honestly, I can't make you believe that. I didn't believe it at first either, but through gaining knowledge of the law, accompanied with my honest thoughts on the role that I played, on the assumptions that I held during events from my past, I gained the confidence to at least try it out. So to summarize everything discussed here, you decide on who you want to be, and this version of you will be who you are now. No questions, no deviations. Your new self-concept or identity will inspire new feelings within you, and these new feelings within you will inspire you to behave in new ways. As you receive these inspirations, behave in these new ways, because it only makes sense now. This is who you are. Your confidence in this new identity will increase. You'll begin to feel more comfortable standing in this new state of being. It'll feel normal to you. You'll feel calmer about it. If your physical circumstances neglect to reflect your new and preferred reality within a day, it's all good, because you know who you are. So you deny those physical senses. The physical circumstances don't matter to you, so you ignore them. They're irrelevant. I want you to try to get to the point where you're standing so still, psychologically, in your preferred reality, that you no longer even need the physical reality to reflect that, because you are fulfilled. You know you're a high-valued person, whatever your definition of it is. You know you're earning X amount of money. You know you're a winner. You're stunning. You're charismatic. You know you matter. You know who you are. You know it. So it's all normal to you. It feels normal to you. It feels right. It's about as normal and right to you as everything else currently in your life. If you need to start small, start small. I start small. If you cannot make yourself believe psychologically that this new and improved version of you is who you are today on this very date, then choose a future date that feels more reasonable to you. Then live psychologically from that point in time. I swear by this, but try it and see if everything finally starts going your way. Before we end this video, I want to give a very quick non-sponsored shout out to Truth Seekers T, who is a pick a card tarot reader here on YouTube. One thing I love about her videos is that she'll do a little energy check-in before proceeding with the reading, so you'll have more confirmation that you've indeed selected the correct pile. I find this trait to be very unique. I've never seen another reader do this yet. Obviously, with the amount of care she takes in her readings, they're of course very accurate, and they provide me with the clarity that I sometimes still need for identifying how I've been feeling about certain situations. It's the alternative perspective that I love about readings, and so if you're interested in testing the waters, then I highly suggest Truth Seekers T. The link to her channel will be in the description box down below, along with the link to my book club Patreon, where we do nothing but read and discuss the lessons that have been taught. And with that being said, thank you for watching this video. I truly do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I trust you'll give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more content just like this one. So, how did you like today's video, and what video would you like to see next? You let me know in the comment section down below. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Toodles.